Buffett, Peter Lynch, Seth Klarman, John Templeton, and I'm going to tell you what they're good at. Statistically, you're going to spend 1/3 of your life in a bear market. So get used to it. You got to embrace it. Seize the power of the bear market. It's the way good investors increase their returns. It really is. Every good investor you can throw me a name, Warren Buffett.
But they buy a stock and they think if it goes up, it's wonderful, and if it goes down, it's bad. We think just the opposite. When it goes down, we love it because we'll buy more, and if it goes up, it kills us to buy more.
Peter Lynch.
We've had 15 declines in 93 years. So every 6 years, the market's going to have a 25% decline. That's all you need to know. You need to know the market's going to go down sometime. So you take advantage of these declines.
Seth Klarman.
Our rhythm is opposite most of the market's rhythm. We buy things when the market's down, we sell things when the market's up.
John Templeton.
That the right time to buy shares is in the later stages of a great bear market. Everybody knows every bear market's going to be followed by a bull market, so why not prepare for it at the right time?
You throw me a name and I'm going to tell you what they're good at is buying when things go on sale. That's how they make their good returns.
Hi, it's Lauren Templeton. It's a beautiful day in Tennessee, and I'm sitting here enjoying my new copy of Value Investing Simplified by Cayden Chang. It's a great book. I hope you pick up a copy and enjoy it yourself.
Hi, this is Cayden from VIA Value Investing Academy. So we are seeing each other again. Just now for a couple of seconds, I was thinking, I thought I just did this live a couple of days ago. And then recently, I'm doing a lot of YouTube live. Now, so just to have some fun, right? There are about 113 of you watching this YouTube video. Maybe could I just double check? By the way, how many of you are our graduates? If you are our graduates, if you don't mind, on the chat box, right? Can you just type what so that I know you are our grad? Yeah. If you're not, can you just type no, which is okay, right? Which is okay. So there's some interaction. But anyway, while you're typing in the chat box, just to let you know that the video that you have just watched, which is titled "What You Need to Do When the Market Crash," pardon me, right? Is produced by our in-house team, Susie and Irfan. Yay! Clap, 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 clap. So if you look at this YouTube channel, which is a youtube.com/Value Investing Academy, right? There is a QR code over here. So if you want to learn more about value investing, simply scan this QR code, right, using your phone, and then you'll be notified of any very interesting video production or education, right, that are produced in our YouTube channel. So if you look at this slide, it's a bit slightly outdated because it shows that there are about like 2.81K subscribers. So we are quite happy that I think as of this afternoon, there should be about 4.2K lah. Like to us, 100 years, right? But at least, at least we crossed a certain amount. Okay, so I can see quite a number of people who say what, Yeah. No, before I continue, I just want to share, it's quite interesting feeling, right? Because during the pre-pandemic days, we actually meet our graduates on a monthly basis, where our graduates come into the physical room. And of course, during those days, we don't really need to wear a mask, right? And then, we can chit-chat, and at our pantry, right, we provide cookies, drinks, and so on. So it was really fun. But I think since the pandemic, a lot of things has changed. But fortunately, I think things are getting better because as of 15th of March, if I remember correctly, right, the new so-called law, right, or the rules is as long as you are wearing masks, there's no social distancing is required. So maybe, I'm just thinking maybe one day, right, maybe 1 or 2 months down the road, I may just start this monthly gathering where we are in our office, physical office, because I have not seen all of you, right, for so long. It's been like 2 years, 2 years. So right now it's good to see quite a number of people, like for example, Mary Ann. I haven't seen her like many years. Gok Chuan, Bernard. Wow, so it's good. I think I want to see all of you face to face, right? Yeah. So maybe in the next 1 or 2 months. So give us some time. So let's get started, right? This evening is very interesting because myself and Hillary, we have decided to put ourselves outside the comfort zone, right? Because we're going to do a topic, or we have done a topic, right, which is really outside our circle of competence. and it's called cryptocurrencies and NFTs. And all of you may already know, right? NFT stands for non-fungible tokens. Maybe I share with you how this topic came about, right? It's because I think for the past couple of years, there's been a lot of a talk or discussion about cryptocurrencies, and of course recently, maybe for the past 1-2 years, it's about NFTs or non-fungible tokens. And I still remember, I think our finance minister called Lawrence Wong, right? He was saying, oh, right now if you buy NFTs, you sell, right? The so-called capital gain that you receive will be taxable. Well, interesting. So right now people start to talk about this. But before we get started, just to let you know that whether is it me, whether it's Hillary, we are not cryptocurrency or NFTs experts. Neither are we cryptocurrency or NFTs guru. So we are not. But the reason why we do this, right, is because we find it very fascinating. Fascinating, yeah. So we want to do it because we find it fascinating. And one more thing, right, is both myself and Hillary, we do not own any cryptocurrency NFTs. Yeah, we do not own. Remember, when we do not own doesn't mean that it's bad, right? For example, if I don't eat durian, doesn't mean that durian is bad. It's just that we have not eaten yet. We have not eaten yet, right? Oh, voice is soft. Voice is soft. Jerry, voice is soft. Maybe you want to up your volume a bit. Or use a headpiece, right? By the way, is the volume okay? Maybe the rest of you. Yeah, I'll just continue. If it's too soft, you let me know, right? Okay, so let's get started. Remember, just now I said that myself, Hillary, we are not a cryptocurrency NFT gurus. Neither do we own any cryptocurrency NFTs, but we are passionate about this. So I think most of you are our graduate, right? So we want to do some research so that it forms some foundational material, right, for you to get started if you are interested. Yeah, so at least you have one trusted source. And just to let you know that just NFTs alone, I think it took Hillary a couple of days. Yeah, a couple of days. And then she has to compress it in an hour. So which means that even though you're watching like an hour, if you expand it, it took her a couple of days. Yeah, so now by watching her segment, right, all my segment, you are saving days of your life. Okay, so let's get started. Now, I'm not going to read this, right? Usually I'll read this, but I'm just going to read the last sentence that you can see over here, right? Remember, the information on this presentation, right, is not intended to be, nor does it constitute any investment advice or recommendation. Yeah, partly because I do not own any crypto or NFT, so even if I want to recommend, there's also nothing to recommend. Okay, so okay, we are all safe, right? We are all safe. So let's get started. So my segment is quite simple. I'll be the so-called first speaker, right, or presenter. So I'll do the cryptocurrency first. Then after that, we're going to take a short break, right? Then after that, Hillary is going to come back and talk about NFTs. Okay, and NFTs has to so-called appear after cryptocurrency because these two are interlinked, and you have to understand cryptocurrency first before we talk about NFTs. So let's get started, right? Okay, ready? Everything is okay, Elaine, yeah, quite a number of you. We 168 people, Wow, very good, Thank you, So let's talk about what is cryptocurrency. Now, by the name itself, roughly you will guess, cryptocurrency is actually a digital, right, or a virtual money. Yeah, but the interesting thing is, if you compare crypto with our fiat currency, right, the key difference, it only exists in electronic form. So in other words, it doesn't have like a hard copy, or a solid tangible copy. So that's one key difference. And then what's interesting about cryptocurrency is it didn't really sort of happen or discovered recently. In fact, it dates way back to 1983. So that's many years ago, almost like 40 years ago, right? And it all got started by this gentleman. His name is called David Chang. So what he did was he created a type of virtual cash or e-cash, right? E-cash in 1983 through some form of a cryptographic system. Yeah. And then 12 years later, right, he developed DigiCash. That means from e-cash, it evolves to DigiCash, which is much more secure and an encrypted system. Yeah. Okay. And then subsequently, when this David Chang phase is over, right? So one new guy appeared, and his name is called Tai Wei, right? Tai Wei is a computer engineer. And the interesting thing is he also developed a type of virtual currency. But one key difference, right, is the main characteristic was this thing called decentralization. Now, decentralization, that means that there is no central government body that control or manage this currency. And later I'll share in detail what I mean by decentralization. And then subsequently from e-cash, virtual cash from David Chang, right? So he created another type of virtual money and he called it a B-money. B-money. And they start to evolve, right? Evolve David Chang and then Tai Wei. But most interestingly, right, is this mysterious ninja, whoever, right, that eventually created a type of virtual currency, and he called it Bitcoin. Bitcoin. So this guy, or it could be a lady, or it could be a group, it could be a gang, nobody knows. So in 2009, this mysterious man, woman, group, who named himself or herself, right, Satoshi Nakamoto, created the first cryptocurrency, and then he called it Bitcoin. Yeah, Satoshi Nakamoto. Very interesting, right? So there's a lot of like conspiracy theory that maybe Tai Wei could be Satoshi Nakamoto. It could be this Dorian Nakamoto, right? Because of her last name. It could be Craig, right? It could be anyone. Yeah. And then I watched some TikTok video. There's this speaker called Dan Penn or Penn Dan. He was saying that Putin is the founder of Bitcoin. Wow. Sometimes conspiracy theory can be very far stretched. But anyway, the interesting thing is nobody knows. It'll be interesting that one day some fella came out and then admit that, hey, I'm Satoshi Nakamoto. And the person is Putin. Just kidding, right? But I think this is quite interesting. So the founder of Bitcoin is Satoshi Nakamoto. It could be anyone, it could be any group. But the interesting thing about this cryptocurrency is based on this concept called decentralization. So in the next 1 minute, I'm going to share more detail, right? What I mean by decentralization, which is very important, right? Because NFTs, crypto, has to ride on this foundation called decentralization. But before we talk about decentralization, right, let's talk about something that you know, which is called centralization. You know the currency that we use, Sing dollars, whatever, US dollars or whatever, right? There is a central body that controls how much you print and so on. And in US, right, it's called Federal Reserve System. Yeah, Federal Reserve System. And of course, in Singapore context, it's MAS, which is our monetary authority of Singapore, right? So since they are the central body, I'm the king, right? I decide how much money to print. Yeah, you know, then it's controlled by them. It's centralized. So it's governed by a central bank. In our case, MAS. And if you go to any restaurant, you swipe your credit card and so on, you may realize that when you swipe your credit card, and then if you pay attention to your credit card, right, you may notice that the credit card consists of two parties that are so-called printed, a label on the credit card. One is the name of the payment gateway, such as Visa, Master, Diners Club. Then another one is the card has to be issued by the bank, which means that every time when you swipe, somebody takes something. Yeah, but instead of taking the money from you, right, they actually take money from a restaurant or the merchant. Yeah, so I'm the middleman, right? You want to use my, whatever function, right? You have to pay me. So you will see, there is this middleman. Yeah, centralized body. Whenever you perform a transaction. So there's both good and bad. When centralized, it also means that if you travel overseas, sometimes you gonna some chargeback, right? Or somebody use your credit card, you could report to the bank, and then they may return you the money. Yeah, actually, for myself, I think I had it a few times, fortunately, overseas, right, when my credit card was charged. And then I received a message that my credit card was charged. Eventually, I called DBS Bank, and then they returned me the money. So I think there is some benefit, where there's a central body, you can always go back to them if something happens. Which also means that if you transfer money from one place to another place, sometimes it takes a couple of days. Like, for example, when I transfer money, let's say from my bank, right, which is DBS, to, let's say, TD Ameritrade, usually it takes about 2 business days. So whatever that we have been doing on a day-to-day basis is sort of centralized. It's just that sometimes we are not so conscious about it. Yeah. But what is this decentralized? What's such a hype about this decentralization, right? The word is quite strange when there are people who are like pro-government, pro-centralization. There's always another group that they're so-called on the opposite side of the fence. So they were thinking, why should I need the government? I should create a world, right, that the government should be removed, the middleman should be removed. That's when the decentralized, the hype came about. So when all this cryptocurrency, right, exists in a separate world, if you have watched Avengers, you know there's this real world, like us real world, right? And then there's another world, like multiverse, or there's another virtual universe. So in the virtual universe, interestingly, right, Doctor Strange, in the multiverse, right, there isn't a central government body, which means that party A and party B, can sort of exchange money in the form of cryptocurrency from A to B, B to A, right, without one middleman in between. And those people who are very involved in all this Bitcoin, they are very proud of themselves because right now I can get rid of the middleman, which is the government, right? Yeah. and nobody control me. So they are very happy. Yeah, but if there are nobody control, then how do they manage so-called the control? What a question. So for example, right, if let's say there are 100 PCs, 100 PCs, right, they are connected to a network. If you're working in some organization, like for example, civil service or stat board, sometimes they have this intranet where it's like protected, right? And then within this intra-network, their computers are interconnected. So in other words, in a decentralized world, there is this network of PCs. And the interesting thing is, instead of being governed by one person or one party, right, it's government by majority rule. Wow, quite interesting. So it sounds a bit like democracy, right? Democracy in a decentralized world. Very interesting, huh? And of course, there's also pros and cons. If you don't want somebody to watch over you, right, which also means that if you cannot scam in the decentralized world, there is no central body, because that's what you wanted, right? You do not want anybody to govern you, right? Yeah, so that is a double-edged sword. Yeah, and of course, if you want to transfer money from one person or one PC to another PC within the network, it all depends on how fast the network is. Yeah. So if you want, right, if you are very interested, you can take a screenshot of this so that you know what's the difference between centralization and decentralization. Yeah. So I'm going to be here for a few seconds. Wow, not bad, huh? Johnny say what. We have 197 people watching. So good, You know, it feels good when you talk, somebody is listening. Yeah. That's why I don't want to go back home. No, just kidding. So let's continue, right? Okay, so right now we have some idea about decentralization versus centralization. Now, then the next thing, let's put this aside first. Let's put this decentralization aside first. So what I'm going to explain next is going to be something called the blockchain technology. By the way, just to let you know that I'm not like a graduate, right, in IT or whatsoever. So I'm a zoology grad. So I want you to imagine a zoology grad, right, trying to explain to you something called blockchain technology. Now, but the benefit, right, is because I do not have any IT background. I have this small little advantage of trying to explain things in a very simple manner, because otherwise too complex, it's just too much for me. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this thing called blockchain technology, and then subsequently we're going to move on to Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Yeah. So let's get started, right? Now, if you look at this phrase, blockchain technology, it consists of three words. One, it appears to be like that there is some form of block, right, that is chained together using some form of technology. So it's called blockchain technology. Pardon me, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one block, like a box, right, to represent the block in a blockchain. Okay, Now, so when I say block, so what does it mean? You just imagine in a decentralized world as though there's a physical block. So if you imagine this, I think it's easier for me to explain, right? Now, so let's say in a decentralized world that there is like a physical block. And what's so special about this block, right, is the intention of this block is to record financial transaction, which means that if you open up the box, right, inside the box, it contains some information. So the very basic block consists, right, of three things. So the first thing is it consists of information or data. So that's one thing inside the block. Now the second thing, right, that defines this block, right, is this block has a fingerprint. And we all know each of us have some unique fingerprint, right, which means that this block has some form of unique fingerprint. Let's say a triangle that uniquely identify this specific block. So the other blocks that is hanging around, right, in the blockchain, right, doesn't have this shaped triangle. So unique. So second information. Now the third thing, right, this block contains is it contains the fingerprint of the previous block. Somebody asking if these collectors are actual, where we can find them. Is there any website? Where are NFTs collectors? They're fake or actual collectors? We're going to come to that. There are some people who ask some question. We'll come to that. NFTs will be the second segment, so just bear with me, right? Where was I? So this block contains three pieces of information. One is called the data. Second one is the fingerprint, right, that identify this block. And then the third piece, right, is the fingerprint, but which identify the previous block. And I'm going to connect the dots later. So just hang on. Data inside this block. One fingerprint that identify this block only, and then another fingerprint that identify the previous block. So three pieces of information, right? So what does it mean, right? Now, it simply means that if we apply these 3 pieces of information into a Bitcoin block, or it could be an Ethereum block, it could be any block. So let's say if you use Bitcoin, since the first cryptocurrency, right, which means that for Bitcoin blockchain, each block contains the transaction detail. Because remember, a 2 laptop is trying to transfer information from point A to point B to A, right? Yeah, so this data consists of transaction detail of the sender and the receiver. Yeah, it contains the fingerprint which uniquely identify this block. Next one, it contains the fingerprint which identified the previous block, which means that if the block that I'm talking about is the second one, you look something like this. So remember, the second one, it consists of some data, right, of whatever transaction detail. And let's say if the fingerprint is this triangle that uniquely identifies this block, and then the other fingerprint is a circle which uniquely identifies the previous block. So it goes something like this, which means that for the first block, right, this part, the fingerprint has to be a circle. Circle and circle, same, right? So they are chained together. And in this case, triangle, triangle, same, right? So they are chained together. And when many of these blocks are chained together, yep, it's called a blockchain. Okay, it's called blockchain. Yeah. So right now you know what's the meaning of one block. When many of these blocks are connected together, they are being called the blockchain. Now, what's so in this picture, right? The very interesting thing about this first block is because it has this unique fingerprint with circle, right? But here it's kosong and it's empty, right? Because before this first block, there isn't any block because it is the first block. So this first block has a special name and it's called a Genesis block. Genesis block. So this is the basic foundation, a block, many blocks that are connected together in which each block contains information, right, is called a blockchain. Now, so how does this blockchain grow, right? For example, in this picture, there are 3, right? So how does it grow in the sense that the third one, suddenly there's a 4th one, then connected to the 3rd one, and then a 5th one connected to the 4th one and so on. So how does it go on? So remember, right, as more transactions take place within the network, right, or PCs, blocks are being added. Now, the interesting thing about this Bitcoin blockchain technology, right, is as blocks are added, yeah, it becomes slower and slower. That means it gets a bit slower to add, right? Yeah, it doesn't add at the same speed as the first few blocks. So it gets slower and slower, slower and slower. So such a way, right, of adding the slow block requires some form of validation. And this validation process, sometimes people call it proof of work, which means that in order for the 4th block to be added to this 3rd block, somebody need to verify, right? Otherwise, how do people know whether is this 4th block real or not? Are the transaction real? So somebody has to verify. So now the question is, who verify and where does the crypto come from, right? So just hang on, we're going to come to the interesting part, right? Now, so remember there's quite a bit of hype saying that, you know, blockchain technology is quite hard to tamper or it's almost foolproof. But why is that so? Why is that so? Now, let's go back to the second block. Now, remember every block contains 3 pieces of information. One is about the data, right, of the transaction, and then it has a fingerprint. Okay, so this one is a triangle, and then this is a circle, this is a circle, this is a triangle, maybe it's a square, and so on. Yeah. So let's say if I'm a hacker, let's say I'm a professional hacker, right? Somebody is saying that, hey, it's quite difficult to tamper with a blockchain, and then I try to hack into this second block, right? So how the technology works is the moment I tamper with any information about this block, this shape will change. That means this triangle, right, no longer look like a triangle. It may look like a star. Yeah. And this circle, right, may no longer look like a circle. It may become an oval shape. And because this triangle becomes a star, this chain is broken because it doesn't look the same, right? It's not interconnected. And then if this is become an oval shape, right, oval shape and this circle, it doesn't match, right? So this chain will be broken. Yeah, so in other words, if somebody really hack into any block, in any blockchain, all the PCs, right, all the users will be alerted. Yeah, because right now the chain is broken. But let's assume that this hacker is really super. He's able to hack into any block, in any blockchain, and yet retain the shape of the fingerprint. Yeah, so if this guy is really genius, right? So how? But it's still not easy, huh? Now, if the hacker can hack into one, keeping the fingerprint or the hash, how should I say, intact, right, he has to hack into all other blocks of the PC inside the huge network, right? Yeah, so that every single one, how should I say, it appears that it's not tampered with. And it's almost impossible, right? Because if there are 1,000 PCs in the network, how is this hacker is going to do all this work? Yeah, so that is the part where this hype about talking about, unhackable, or it's quite hard to alter or tamper with any blockchain. Yeah, so that's how difficult it is. Changing one, it will disrupt the block, and even if you have to change all the blocks in the PC that's located within the network. So making it like almost unhackable. Now, so just now remember I was saying, in order for us to add one block, right? Let's say there are 3 blocks, you want to add the 4th block, 5th block, and so on. It requires some form of a validation or verification. Yeah, and this verification requires hardware, right? Like PC to verify. Now, and the amount of work that's being done, right, to verify this is simply called a proof of work. Proof of work is just a big name for a verification of transaction. And remember, it requires hardware, right? So in the early days, when crypto first started, you can use a PC or laptop to do it. Right now a PC cannot make it. Right? Right now, you need something that's called mining rigs. And later I'm going to play some video about this. So in other words, some PC, right, within the network need to rush. So everybody's chiong, right? Rush and try to verify this transaction. And when it's being verified, one new block is added to the 3rd block. Yeah. So those people who are rushing, right, with whatever hardware to verify this transaction, right, they call themselves Bitcoin miners. But the question is like why should I buy one supercomputer, waste electricity to go and verify if I am not rewarded, right? Why should I do all the work where I'm not rewarded, right? So interestingly, in this decentralized virtual world, if let's say I could verify any transaction within the decentralized network, right, I'll be rewarded with something. And instead of real fiat currency such as Sing dollars, I'll be rewarded with virtual currency. And this virtual currency, of course, it depends on what kind of technology we are looking at. If it's Bitcoin technology network, right, then I'll be awarded with Bitcoin. If it's Ethereum, right, then will be Ethereum, a cryptocurrency. If it's Cardano, right, that will be Cardano, a currency. So in other words, you imagine if you play some computer games, whether it's a laptop or phone, right, sometimes you play, you win, you're being awarded like coins, points, and so on. Yeah, so these coins or points in the game world, right, like in this case, is actually the Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin. Yeah. So right now, right, I'm going to ask one of my teammates who is going to, Irfan, right, he's going to play an interesting video. Now, this video is going to start at 0, right, and it's going to end at 4 minutes and 14 seconds. And this video will illustrate the size of Bitcoin, right? And then not only that, it gives a very good recap of what I've said just now. Yeah. So, yeah, ready, So, enjoy yourself with this video.
Why has a chilly island in the North Atlantic become a crucial frontier in the occult, high-stakes world of cryptocurrency mining? An unremarkable-looking cluster of sheds on the western cluster of the Nordic nation might just hold the answer. So join us today as we follow the money and take a peek inside Iceland's insane Bitcoin supermine. About a decade ago, the first proper real-world Bitcoin transaction took place when one Laszlo Harnieks infamously purchased 2 hot and juicy Papa John's pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoins. Those 10,000 coins were only worth, at the time, around $40. Delicious as the pizzas no doubt were, if he'd only kept hold of those Bitcoins, they'd by now be worth somewhere north of $280 million. Created by a shadowy, mysterious figure, or perhaps group, going by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin is one of a number of cryptocurrencies that are created via computer processes which use raw mathematics and sheer computational horsepower to underwrite the value of transactions. As opposed to conventional monetary systems which are backed by central banks, cryptocurrencies rely on the mathematical certitude of a decentralized ledger known as a blockchain. Cryptocurrencies are ingeniously summoned into being by a process of so-called mining. Instead of shovels and pickaxes, modern-day cryptocurrency miners simply require an internet-linked computer that can solve or hash big number problems which are then added to the blockchain. Back in the day, crypto pioneers could run humble mining operations on home laptops, extracting coins almost as a background process, for instance while they slept. Fast forward to today, however, and that sort of amateur setup simply doesn't cut it anymore. Vast server farm-style operations have sprung up around the world to take advantage of what many have described as a modern-day gold rush. One such operation is situated within a series of ordinary-looking sheds by an abandoned World War II airstrip on a sprawling former US Air Force base near Keflavik Airport in the west of Iceland. Inside the 400 square meter sheds are shelves and shelves of whirring computers, reportedly as loud when they're running in full flow as a jet engine taking off. And they're always running, working hard to crack the next code and acquire the next precious cryptocurrency bounty ahead of competition all over the world. Its rivals are everywhere, literally wherever there's an internet connection, but most notably in places like Russia, China, Canada, Venezuela, and the United States. Every 10 minutes, roughly, a prize of 6.25 bitcoins is released and someone somewhere will get lucky. The more computer power you have on your side, naturally, the luckier you're likely to get. This Icelandic operation, called Enigma and run by 8-year-old cryptocurrency bigwigs Genesis, was established in 2014. The last time journalists paid a visit, in 2018, there were tens of thousands of individual computers working flat out around the clock mining coins. Each of the many thousands of identical units boasted its own fan, and the ceiling of the sheds were supported by 6 giant ceiling turbines that were 24/7 with the combined mechanical force of 260 washing machines. This constant cool airflow is essential to keep the computational hardware at optimal working temperatures. That's because any burnout or interruption to the mining process literally costs money, with individual coins trading at many hundreds of dollars. Potentially millions are at stake, so for the technicians overseeing the Enigma facility, failure really isn't an option. The electricity bills at Enigma reportedly run to more than $1 million a month, and with each computing unit costing a few $1,000s to buy and install, there's tens of millions of pounds in assets humming away constantly. No wonder security is tight, not least since a major spree of thefts a couple of years back saw some $2 million of crypto mining tech taken from their rightful owners in a series of raids around Iceland. It's worth looking at these computers in detail, because they're actually a far cry from the standard PCs you use at home or work. Instead, each unit consists of a main board, and into each main board is plugged 6 GPUs, or graphics processing units. Crypto mining experts have found that these GPUs are far more efficient at the kind of lightning-fast number crunching required to solve those all-important hashing problems. Take a market...
Hey, hi, welcome back. So thanks for watching the video, right? I think it's produced by a YouTube channel called Vision, and the title is called Inside Iceland's A Massive Bitcoin Mine. The video is pretty long. If I look at it, I think it's about 7 minutes, but we're just playing half of it. If you're interested, you can always Google, right? Then you'll be able to see quite a number of videos. So right now, at least somebody was saying, Asa more, right? Saying, oh no, I'm getting the point. So it's good, huh? So let's do a quick recap. The blockchain, right, consists of blocks, and in order for each block of information or each block to be added, right, some verification is required. And in order for anyone to verify this, hardwares are required. And as long as somebody verify a block of information is being added, right, they are being rewarded with cryptocurrency. And if the blockchain is a Bitcoin, right, blockchain technology, they'll be rewarded with Bitcoin. If it's Ethereum blockchain technology, they'll be rewarded with Ethereum. So now the question is, of course, people always talk about, I make a lot of money, 100%, 1000%. So how do people make money out of crypto? Okay, so in order for me to explain this, I must talk about the so-called the entire supply chain, as much as I can. Now remember, right, just now you saw a huge space where they put a lot of mining rigs. So this is just a simple picture that talks about that illustrate the mining rigs. And in order for these mining rigs to exist in the first place, right, somebody must have made money out of selling this mining rig. Now in Singapore, there is a place called Sim Lim Square, right, where they actually sell small little mining rigs. So remember, in order for crypto traders to make money first, right, they haven't made money first. The Sim Lim Square stores, they make money first because they sell the hardware to you, right? Whether you make money or not, it doesn't matter, but it only matters to them that they sell the hardware to you. Okay, so let's say you're the Bitcoin miner, your cryptocurrency miner. You bought the mining rigs, all the hardware. Remember, you already spend money, right? You haven't made money yet, you spend money on hardware. Then you spend some time, install the hardware. And remember, the hardware requires electricity to work, right? Yeah, so before anybody make money first, who make money first? The guy at Similar Square who sold you the hardware make money first. First one, our SP powers, or depending on which country you're staying, right? Those people who are selling you the electricity, they make money first. Remember, crypto trader haven't make money first. Okay, so all these fellas make money first. Yeah, so you're the miner, right? They sell this thing to you, you're happy, with all the oil, not oil rig, with all the mining rig, all got started electricity, so you're happily mining. You got a small little mining operation in your office or home or whatsoever, right? Now, so once you mine, you have crypto, right? Yeah, once you have crypto, I just put B over here, right? Yeah, of course you want to sell it to someone, right? Then this crypto trader comes along. Now, but before the crypto trader buys from the crypto miner, we have to ask ourselves, in order for crypto miner to sell something to you, am I right to say that it's natural, right? They want to say good things about cryptocurrency. Yeah, because if they say bad things, who is going to buy from them, right? So they have to, crypto, is going to make you rich, 1,000%, and so on. Oh, so you believe in that? Oh, they sell it to you. Yeah. So remember, when they sell it to you, it becomes your problem. Okay, so you're the crypto trader, right? Now, so right now, you are as though you're carrying this cryptocurrency. But since it exists only in the virtual world, right? Where do you store this cryptocurrency, right? Then some other companies came along and say, hey, don't worry. You want your cryptocurrency to be safe, right? You store in our wallet, inverted commas. So these are some of the companies that provide service to like store your cryptocurrency so that your cryptocurrency is secure. So remember, you haven't made money yet. You bought cryptocurrency from the crypto miner, and then you store it somewhere, right? And then when you store it somewhere, the question is, why should they let you store it somewhere when you don't pay them any money? So all these crypto wallet companies, Mycelium, all these, they will charge you some form of subscription fee. Yeah, remember, you haven't make money first, but who make money? Already, the utility company, the fellow who sold the rig, the crypto miners, the wallet fella, right? The companies, but you haven't make money first. You haven't made money yet. Yeah, but right now the problem goes to you. So right now you have something that you cannot see, hear, feel, right? So you want to sell it to someone. And remember, when you want to sell something that you cannot see, hear, feel to someone, right? You need to talk about it. So if you watch any TikTok videos, you see a lot of people say, hey, I like to buy this, then all the sound comes out, all the music, right? And then people say, wow, that's true, right? Come. Then another crypto trader come along. Yeah, and they say, hey, I tell you, when you buy this from me, right, you can get rich quick. Yeah, so I'm going to sell it to you. But in order for me to sell it to you, right, I have to sell it through some form of platform. Yeah, platform. And then suddenly somebody came along. Coinbase, Binance quite popular, right now. Popular because Singapore disallow them to have a license. Okay, so Bs and so on. So you see, let's say this is me, let's say this is Cayden, right? Before Cayden make any money, Cayden has to pay a lot of bills, He has to pay this crypto wallet bill, and then after that, to pay the transaction fee for the middleman, right? Called a cryptocurrency exchange. Then finally, I found someone maybe called John. Finally, I got rid of my cryptocurrency by selling to John. And then John has to repeat the same thing. John has to look for someone, talks about this crypto, hey, this Bitcoin is a very good thing. So this whole thing go on and on all night. So this is a rough flow, right, of how people make money. And when I say people, it could be the crypto miner or a crypto trader. Yeah, crypto trader. So this is a simple process. Then just now we talked about, in order for you to sell cryptocurrency from Cayden to John, right, you need to go through some platform. Now, even though the so-called technology, the blockchain technology exists in a decentralized world, where there is a network of people, right, that can do transaction. But unfortunately, this decentralized world exists in a centralized world. So in other words, it's as though there is this movie called The Matrix, right? But this Matrix exists in a centralized world. Yep. Why? Because the centralized government, right, is still governing the cryptocurrency platform. Yeah. So in other words, if Singapore government say no to this platform, and that's it, you can't. Yeah, this cryptocurrency exchange don't exist, and then you cannot do any transaction. Yeah. So In the decentralized world, maybe it's a big deal, but the decentralized world is governed, right, and exists in a centralized world. Yeah. And then you look at some of the very interesting things people talk about, right? Yeah. For example, of course, the most popular is called Bitcoin, followed by Ethereum, and the whole list goes on. And this bar over here talks about market cap. Now, market cap is simply equals to the number of coins multiplied by the price of each coin. Yeah, so as long as the number of coins goes up or the price goes up, right, the market capitalization goes up. And usually when the market capitalization go up, people will say, wow, it's a big thing. Yeah, same thing is an investment. If let's say Apple, right, it's called a big cap company, big capitalization, which means that the number of shares are multiplied by the share price of each Apple shares. It becomes a very big number. So as of 25th April, right, yep, these are the so-called top cryptocurrency based on market capitalization. So if you look at all this, at least some of the names look very familiar, especially this Dogecoin, right? Cardano, XRP, and so on. By the way, there are thousands and thousands of crypto, and then some are scam, right? There's even one cryptocurrency that named after a Korean show. What's the Korean show again? It was quite popular, but it's okay, I forgot. Anybody can remember the Netflix, right? Netflix drama, huh? Yeah, Squid Game. Yeah, Squid Game. Yeah, Squid Game. Yeah, I think there's a Squid coin. Yeah, then eventually turned out to be a scam. Yeah. Then of course the buyer of the Squid coin becomes Squid. Okay, Squid. So Hokkien is called Sotong, right? Sotong. Yeah. So what are the risks? When people want to sell something, they talk about all the big things. But because I'm not going to sell any cryptocurrency, right? So I'm in a neutral position. So I can share with you some of the risks. So you decide whether does it make sense or not. Now, so the risk is what? The biggest risk is you may lose all your money. Yeah, this is the most dangerous thing. And of course, Warren Buffett, being the most successful investor, he said that investment rule number one is never lose money. And then yet this contradict the investment rule number one, right? So Squid Game, yeah, K-Pang, thanks. Now, so what are possible risks? Number one, remember, because it's in a decentralized world, right, you have no idea who's on the other side of the fence. So it can subject itself to manipulation. And let me give you a specific example. Now, there is this cryptocurrency exchange that's called Quadriga, and it's founded by this guy. And then, unfortunately, this guy passed on, You see, this guy died, right? And this guy died, all the currency, cryptocurrency that's being stored inside this exchange are all gone, And we're talking about 135 million worth of cryptocurrency. Yeah, so remember, you can lose everything. Then another one, right? This locally, I think this is about maybe 2 years plus ago. There is this cryptocurrency exchange platform called Talk. So what happened is, can you imagine you try to buy and sell using this exchange, right? And the founder of this exchange disappeared, then gone. So your money has been decentralized. So you cannot find him, and the fellow also decentralized. The fellow also gone. Yeah, then how? You want to sue him? I mean, what to do? He already vanished, right? Decentralized, right? Yeah. And then, of course, Binance, if I remember correctly, is the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. And then our Singapore government say, no, we're not going to give you the license, right? So they have to leave the operation. Yeah. And then not only that, if I remember correctly, Sim Lim Square, right, there is one machine that you can buy cryptocurrency, and then the government, MAS, also removed that. So first one, high risk. Company gone, you're gone. And then next one, even if the company is so-called safe, it's governed by someone, right? Remember, cryptocurrencies fluctuation day to day, right, is even much worse than stock. Yeah. So now the thing is, can your heart take it? Heart take it. Can you imagine you buy one crypto today, right, and then tomorrow drop by 50%, or it goes up by 50%? Yeah, you must be able to take such a thing. So for me, I think I'm too old for this. Oh yeah, this is the Squid Game. So remember, right, then the third one, of course, other than missing, third one is lack of regulation framework. And you can see here, right, this is a Squid Game crypto. Yeah, cost one Shanghai investor his life saving of 28,000 after it plunged to near zero. Because in the decentralized world, right, there's this pump and dump. So how this pump and dump works is you have to be very careful. So what they do is they create a lot of hype about certain crypto, saying that this crypto will be the next big thing. And then they will say, come, join my Telegram, WhatsApp, they join whatever group. And then within the group, they'll say, hey, this crypto, at this point, you make an entry. So they give you like a stock tip, right? Instead of stock tip, they give you a crypto tip. Yeah. And then what happened is they pump, right? Pump. Okay, please do this. It's going to be my hub. We're going to do a lot of projects. So everybody rush in, right? And then boom, and then pushes the price up, right? And remember, you don't make money yet, you're just jumping in, right? And in between, remember the cryptocurrency exchange make the transaction fee, So you jump down, and then reach one point, right? And this Squid Game crypto creator decided to dump after he has pumped up the share price, which is why it goes to zero. Got it? Remember, when he say pump, right, is he create a hype, he sell you something that's worth nothing, so that when you buy something that's worth nothing, believing that it's going to worth something, right, and then he sell away. So really that nothing eventually become nothing. Yep. So you have to be very careful about this. So these are three things: lack of a regulation framework, and of course market adoption. It all depends on which country you're staying in. And then there are other issues like security, consumer rights. There are just a lot of things that are not in place yet. Then of course, not everybody likes crypto. There's two sides of the coin, right? So for example, Warren Buffett, which is one of the most successful investor all time, or sometimes also known as the Oracle of Omaha, he really don't like crypto, right? So I'll just need fun to play this video. But remember, this is only what he say, right? You all don't have to feel offended. So this is what Warren Buffett talks about cryptocurrency.
Lucas writes in, he said, did Justin Sun change your mind on cryptocurrencies? For anybody who doesn't know, Justin Sun bought the dinner or the lunch that you just had from the last Glide Foundation fundraiser. He is actively involved in Bitcoin. After that meeting, his PR people put out some notes saying that, you kind of listened to cryptocurrency and maybe you're a little more in tune with the idea of Bitcoin now.
Well, I would say this. When Justin and 4 friends came, they behaved perfectly, and we had a good 3.5-hour dinner, and the whole thing was a very friendly exchange of ideas. But cryptocurrencies basically have no value, and they don't produce anything. So you can look at your little ledger item for the next 20 years, and it says you've got X of this cryptocurrency or that. It doesn't reproduce. It doesn't deliver. It can't mail you a check. It can't do anything. And what you hope is that somebody else comes along and pays you more money for it later on. But then that person's got the problem. But in terms of value, zero.
So it sounds like he did not change your position.
No, but I didn't change his either. And I had a very pleasant dinner, and those people they behaved more than well. And they gave Justin gave $4.6 million to Glide, and that will buy a lot of meals and provide a lot of beds for people in San Francisco. So I thank him.
He gave you some Bitcoin. What's it feel like to be a Bitcoiner?
I don't have any Bitcoin.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
No.
You don't own Bitcoin?
No, I do not own one. I don't own any cryptocurrency. I never will. And in the end, I may start a war on currency. Maybe I can create one, and I'll say there's only going to be 21 million of them, and you can have a little ledger sheet from me and everything that says you have it, and you can have it after I die, but you can't do anything with it except sell it to somebody else. And the interesting thing, of course, is that Bitcoin's been out there a long time, and people talked about how it would be used in various kinds of exchange, but none of our companies are doing business in Bitcoin or anything. Bitcoin has been used, I think, to move around a fair amount of money illegally. So the people
maybe in countries where you have
so the logical move from the introduction of Bitcoin is to go short suitcases, because the money that was taken in suitcases from one country to another, suitcases will probably fall off in demand. I mean, so you can look at that as the economic contribution of Bitcoin to the society.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Now, remember the video that you have watched just now is just Warren Buffett's opinion, right? In the sense that no one has a monopoly of opinion. So in other words, you don't really have to agree with Buffett. You don't have to get angry with him. It's like some people like durian, some people don't like, and for those people who don't like durian doesn't mean that they are right or they are wrong. You know, it's just how should I say? We just like the things that we are aware of. So don't take it too personal, right? Yeah, don't take it too personal. And from our government perspective, if you look at this slide, it's actually MAS, right? It's dated 17 January 2022. It's actually quite new, So MAS issue guidelines to discourage cryptocurrency trading by the general public, and to sort of showcase that me, right, MAS, we really discourage. They actually went over to the Sim Lim Square, right, and then removed this cryptocurrency. Can you see the Bitcoin over here? Yeah, they removed on the 18th of January 2022. It's quite interesting, So MAS said, hey, don't do it, And then even though they say don't do it, they issue the license to DBS. So I find it quite interesting. It's like the MAS say, hey, don't gamble, but let me start a casino. Okay, I'm not very sure how that works out, but it's okay, right? But so let's hear an alternative voice. In other words, Buffett is like an anti, right, crypto. But let's hear from this guy called, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's quite a famous guy, right? Chamath Palihapitiya. I think he's quite a rich guy, right? He is pro Bitcoin and crypto. Let's hear another voice. Yeah.
You have been a big bull on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
We had some folks that some people know on our show earlier this week. Becky was out in Omaha. I want to show you what they had to say if we could roll the tape on Bitcoin from Mr. Munger and Mr. Buffett.
The asset itself is creating nothing.
I think it's a scumball activity.
I would short it if there was an easy way to do it.
So there you have it. You have Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger. One of them was calling it a scumball activity. The other saying, Bill Gates saying he would short this thing if he could. And you're saying they're all wrong.
Yeah.
Explain.
Well, look, not everybody is right all the time. And I think we have to acknowledge that we all have biases. And look, I'm a disciple of Buffett and Munger. And one of the things that they have said for years, which I believe, is you define a circle of competence and you stay within it. And I think it's been clear in his entire investing career that technology is not in his circle of competence. And so the only technology name that he's owned is Apple. I mean, you could claim that IBM was a technology company. That's borderline.
It's out of that. That didn't work anyway.
Right.
And Apple, I was thinking that if he got in Bitcoin, if he eventually got in Bitcoin when he eventually got into Apple, it'd already be at $1 million probably.
Probably.
But Chamath, just going back to this, I don't think he looks at it as a technology. I think he looks at it as an asset class that he would put in a similar class with gold. Just it's a non-productive asset. It's an asset that is only worth more if other people agree to pay more for it. That's the type of issue that he's talking about.
Which I also agree with. I think it is exactly that. I think it is a replacement to gold. But again...
But you like gold. You're saying you like non-productive assets.
I like in a portfolio. Again, my portfolio is 99% risk on, 1% risk off. And in that 1% risk off bucket, I think that something like Bitcoin is really important. Why? Because it is not correlated to the rest of the market. And the biggest thing that's changed...
You don't believe that the success of Bitcoin over the past several years has been correlated to the market? I would say not directly correlated, but clearly the idea that there's as much liquidity and cash sloshing around in the world has allowed people to buy into Bitcoin in a way that they wouldn't have, frankly, if the market...
That's different than being correlated to a strong economy or earnings.
But
that's a liquidity argument. That's not a correlation.
I've been in the Bitcoin market since 2012. And I feel like I'm in two different universes. I need a passport to go between the Bitcoin world and my regular world. These are not the same people. And what I would tell you is the people that owned Bitcoin in 2012 all the way up to now, the majority of those people view it as a hedge to the traditional financial infrastructure. Whether that's true or not is unclear, but that's how we've all viewed it. Separately, what Joe says is absolutely right. There's a big difference between correlation and liquidity. And the reality is all of these financial assets in the traditional markets are fundamentally correlated. We saw that in 2007. Everything broke down. Things that we thought were hedges went away. And so I think it's really important to not forget what happened there. So in 2018 or 19, heaven forbid we go through another cataclysmic financial event, we are going to see the same fundamental correlation. And so again, I ask, why would it not make sense to have a non-correlated hedge? For a small amount of this is about buying insurance. It was the same reason why in 2007 and 8, the folks that bought simple insurance bought some CDS,
you might as well
like heroes.
buy gold. I mean, at least gold's got a 3,000 year or 10,000 year record of being a store of value. I mean, I think that's the other thing Buffett's saying. There's no reason to think this is a store of value.
I think that's a fair point, but I think these are not exclusive decisions. And, you know, for this younger class of entrant into the market, they probably don't want to buy gold. In fact, they don't want to buy gold, and they want to buy something that's much more digital and reflective of their values.
How do you feel, though, about the idea that Charlie sort of suggested, that there's something sort of scummy about that, or that there's a lot of scum in the crypto world right now, and that there's a lot of people who have been sort of sucked into this world, that have bought into this world by some folks who may not be as...
Look, I think it's really unfair to not understand something and then to disparage it. Again, I think he's exceptional. I think Warren Buffett is exceptional. I think Bill Gates is exceptional at what they do. And I think it's fair to say that in 30 or 40 years, if I'm, you know, a vibrant, successful investor, and if I'm back on this show, the idea that I know what's happening 30 or 40 years from now, as well as some other new 40-year-old or 30-year-old entrant into the market, is just not true. The reality is things change.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, hi, welcome back. If you have watched the video, I'm quite sure you would, right? I like the way this guy articulate in the sense, I think other than the Bitcoin aside, I think this guy, the way he answered the question have quite a high level EQ. So for example, he want to imply that he doesn't agree, right, with Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger or Bill Gates, but he said it in such a way that that you don't feel offended. Yeah, so I think that's one thing I find this guy is quite spectacular, right? Now, but of course, there's another thing I just find that even as a value investor, I need to, how should I say, keep my mind open, right? Because this guy said that out of the 99% of his portfolio, right, he say, you know, I can always put 1%, right, into something that's of a risk in nature, right? Now, and this reminded me many years ago, maybe like 30 years ago, when my parents are still around. Yeah, my mom doesn't work, so she's like a professional homemaker, right? And then my father is a fishmonger. So, you know, we stay in a very humble family. And in order for a humble family, like me and my parents, 6 of us staying in a 1-bedroom flat, right? 1-bedroom HDB flat. I mean, all of us, our dream is to, wow, big house and so on. But our so-called income is so little, right? So how are we going to, you know, become rich, right? So then my mom, right, being an uneducated person, so what she did was she only know one thing, which is the 4D, 4D, or sometimes the Toto, right, during the Chinese New Year. So now the question is, can I say that she's wrong? You know, I cannot say that she's wrong because of all the money that she has, which is quite little, right? She bet on this little thing. This is $1, $2, $3, because that's all she knows. And then if I could travel back in time, and if I'm 18 years old, 19 years old, and then I only got pocket money, I got no money, and I want to get rich quick, right? Yeah, is there something wrong that out of $20 of pocket money, I use $1 to buy Bitcoin or something like that? If it doesn't work out, I lose $1, but if it does work out, that $1 maybe become $20. So I'm just guessing that right now people, when they buy cryptocurrency, maybe that is how they see the world. Yeah. So remember, no one has a monopoly, right, of opinion. But this guy, when he said 99% portfolio and then 1% on cryptocurrency, remember he's doing some form of risk management, because he didn't say 99% crypto and then 1% into some other assets and so on. Okay, so I think there are two sides. So it's a bit of neutral balance, right? And of course, after crypto, you know, some things even become bigger. Right now, we got a metaverse. So it seems like the multiverse in the Avengers or Doctor Strange world really is going to, how should I say, come into reality. Then, of course, after metaverse, right, there's this thing called NFTs. Yeah, and we're going to talk more about NFTs after the break. And then, you know, non-fungible tokens. And most recent news, there is this Indonesian guy, right, that I think he do some selfie over the past 2-3 years. And then he piece everything together, right, and then sell it as a NFT. And then he make $1 million. Now, $1 million worth of crypto, right, in the Indonesia world, I think this guy is something. There is no harm, right? I mean, he took his face. Right? He doesn't look like Tom Cruise, but I mean, like, what the heck, right? Just do it, yeah, just do it, right? But of course, this is one side of the fence, and just on the Charma, right, was saying that there's two worlds, right? Two worlds. And of course, Warren Buffett world is more old school. Let me buy Apple, let me buy S&P 500, and so on. And if you are like interested in crypto, but you're also interested in some more like traditional or conventional investments, such as stocks, which is owning a piece of Apple or what Warren Buffett is talking about, right? So what I'm going to do is, in the next couple of seconds, right, my teammate is going to play a video, but let me share with the context of this video, right? Now, the context of this video is one of our course graduate. Her name is called Wendy. Wendy worked as an administrative manager for many years. Right? So if you look at this picture, you can see roughly her age, I think about mid-50s or maybe late 50s. So of course, after working for 35 years, she don't see herself working another 35 years. So she wants to retire. And then when she wants to retire, remember, she at a certain age, and then maybe crypto not so suitable for her, right, or NFTs. And during a time, there is no NFTs yet. So she wants to invest in something that maybe she can learn. So eventually, she joined us, which is VIA, Value Investing Academy, and we shared with her a methodology, right, that's being popularized by Warren Buffett, and it's called value investing. So in this very short video, she shared her heartfelt feelings, right, about, of a journey and eventually how she eventually retired in 12 months after, right, graduating from our school. Yeah. So let the video play, right, and let's hear from Wendy.
Hi, I'm Wendy. I graduated from VIA batch 32. Previously, I was an admin manager, okay, and now I am retired. Okay, I'm financially free now. In the past, actually, I do buy and sell of stock, mainly in Singapore stock, without or little knowledge of the company that I traded. I was actually basically doing just trading or speculation, and the result wasn't that good. Cayden appears to be very sincere in sharing the knowledge. Besides the basic content on investing, he brought up this option strategy, which really impressed me. Okay. I find that it's workable the way he has made. The analogy of collecting premium, just like an insurance company, really attracted me, I should say. So I was very keen and decided to go for it. I became more aware of the risks and rewards on investment. Okay, it really changed my mindset from a trader to become to be an investor. So I must do the due diligence, to evaluate and assess the qualitative and quantitative part of the company. Actually, I didn't really put that much. I was staggering. Okay, the amount that I staggered, I don't one time put all. So until at one time I was thinking I cannot just put in money, I have to set a limit. First 3 to 4 months, I make 40%. In fact, I made the 100K in 8 months. After joining the class, I tried the option strategy. I started with 1 month. Okay, then subsequently, I also go for weekly. I wanted to increase my profit, so I put in more. With the profit that I make, I sort of like compound it. Okay, I go and sell some more option. With the intrinsic value that I work out, I give myself a bigger margin of safety, about 40 to 50. I check the chart. Okay, and look at the price level and also the volume. So when it's at the oversold stage, I sell the option at the price 30 to 40%, 40 to 50% lower, lower than the actual price. To tell the truth, yes, it's definitely more than what I earn. Yes. Per month. I was very happy when I noticed that I'm able to make that much amount every month. I was thinking maybe I should consider to retire early and concentrate on this value investing. At least I have a lot of free time for myself. Okay, because for the past 25 years, I mean the time is been tied up in the company. So a lot of things I couldn't do. So now that I have a lot of free time, I was thinking to spend more time with my mom. I love to travel around if I can, right? And at the same time to do some of I was thinking to do some charity work. I think you have to follow the proven strategy that was taught by Cayden. Okay, so you do not panic when the price is down, because you know that you have done your homework. Next, you have to continuously improve your skill, okay, by attending the gathering class or investment seminar to remind yourself of the theory and concept of investing. Yeah. So with increasing experience, I believe you can be successful too.
Okay, guys, welcome back. By the way, just to let you know that Wendy, of course, is not the only person who has clocked in that 100K Sing dollars, right, in a moving 1 year. In fact, the team has just did like a short little biography, right, of another one of grad. Her name is called Monica, who has recently shifted to a new condo. We are really happy to see her, proud of her and so on. So same thing, she achieved something like what Wendy has already done, and then with the amount of income that she get, in fact, it crossed her existing salary. But she's still quite a hardworking person. She still, love her job, continue to do what she do, right? Now, and my purpose of sharing with you the video testimonial or very short story about Wendy, right, is because just to let you know that in the upcoming, let's say 1 week, we are running an on-site masterclass. When I say on-site means if you're not residing in Singapore, right, you're outside Singapore, you can't attend this session. So this is strictly for people who are residing, right, in Singapore. So in other words, on the 23rd of March, which is a Wednesday, right, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., we do have a masterclass that is going to share much more in detail, 3 hours. We're going to talk about how Wendy do it and how Monica did it, right? And in case 23rd of March is not available to you, we also have another session on 31st of March. So these are the only 2 dates that we have for March. Now, just let you know that there is a small little investment for that ticket, right? So it's 8 Sing dollars per ticket. And just to let you know that whatever you pass it to us, every single cent goes to the National Cancer Centre of Singapore for their research fund, because I'm one of the 9 campaign ambassadors for National Cancer Centre of Singapore, and then we are trying to raise 150 million, right, by end of next year. Well, that's really a tough job, huh? Yep. So this $8 is for charity work, is for cancer patient. Now, and because you are donating $8 to cancer patient, right, we're going to give you something in return. So you give $8 for charity, we give you something in return. So at the reception, right, if you decide to register, I think I'll ask my teammate to post the link. Oh, yeah, they have posted the link. Huh? Now, right now, you should be able to see 2 links, right, that's being posted on the chat. If you cannot see, just refresh this video, you'll be able to see this link. Now, if you're not our graduate, you have no idea what is value investing, what is it all about, then it's for you. Okay, so this is really for non-grad. Huh? And then at the reception, right, we will give you a hard copy guide of how you can invest in a security called exchange traded funds. Yep, STI ETF, and we're going to give you a hard copy, right? Also, how you can invest in S&P 500 exchange traded fund. S&P 500, by the way, it is a kind of stock that is recommended by Warren Buffett. Yeah. So even if I say maybe I find it quite hard to explain to you, but when you come, we'll give you a guide, step-by-step guide on how you can get started on this ETF as quickly as you can. And then at the end of the class, right, beginning of class, we give you that guide, right? At the end of the class, we're going to give you a hard copy book, which is our national bestseller called Investla, and then it's retailed at Kinokuniya at $3. So you donate 8, we give you something 3. And then not only that, huh? We're going to give you a Starbucks gift card because we went all the way to Starbucks, pay them $10 and then they give us like a prepaid card. Yeah. So now it's by donating 8, you're going to have this 33 plus 10, right? But there's one more thing. Now, not only that, at the end of the masterclass, we're going to give you another book, which is one of our bestseller. It's called Value Investing Simplified. Again, it's retailed at $20. So if you add everything up, right, by donating 8, to help cancer patient, right, you receive something worth it 63 in return. And then the ROI is guaranteed, right, 688%. Yeah. So why we are doing this is quite simple. We are a small firm operating in Singapore, even though we have like 50,000 customers, right, across 11 cities in the entire Asia, and we also want people to know more about us. But remember, this on-site masterclass is only relevant for people who are residing in Singapore, right? So now you know you're going to get something tangible in return, right? But what do you learn, which is the intangible part, which is priceless. So during the masterclass, whether on the 23rd or the 31st, you will learn how to generate 3 sources of passive income, right? Even if you know absolutely nothing about investing, right? And you also learn how to invest in minimal capital, which is about 100 Sing dollars on a monthly basis, right? And of course, investing is not really trading. You don't really spend like everyday monitor share price. You don't really need to. And then there's one part about Wendy, right, where she said she generated that 100,000 Sing dollars on a moving 12 months is because she used this method called cash flow option strategy, right, that we are going to share with you on these 2 days, either the 23rd of March or the 31st of March. So remember, these are the 2 dates. The link is really there. So what you need to do is you just need to click on any of the link, click on any of the link, right? And remember, click on the link, submit your application. On the 23rd of March, I'll see you face-to-face, right? 31st of March, face-to-face. You appear at our reception, we give you the 2 guidebook, and then at the end of the masterclass, we're going to give you this Investla Value Investing Simplified. And then the foreword is written by a very famous investor called Lawrence Hamilton, and of course a Starbucks gift card with an ROI of guaranteed 688%, so that one day, right, when you are Starbucks drinking a cup of coffee using the card that we have given you, right, you will remember us. Remember us, right? So we're going to go for like a short break, like I can't remember how many minutes, but we're going to go for a short toilet break. And, stay with us. Just click on the link if you're not a grad. And then after the break, we're going to transition on next level, right, where we talk about NFTs called non-fungible tokens. Sounds like some mushroom, right? Yeah, non-fungible tokens. And then the Hillary is going to like use her life and soul, right, to explain what is this NFT. And I shall see you after the break. Remember, this break is for you to register for the masterclass if you're not our graduate. So I shall see you a few minutes later. Yeah. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Now, this segment will be pretty interesting, right? Because in addition to the cryptocurrency, we're going to bring you again to the decentralized virtual world, and we're going to talk about this like special thing, right, called a non-fungible token. The very first time I saw this word fungible, right, if I could replace it, it looks like a fungus, maybe because of my biological background, right? So it sounds like a non-fungus token. Yeah, but it's actually non-fungible token. Okay. So remember, the Hillary, which is our equity research analyst, she spent quite a number of days trying to figure out this fungus thing. Okay. Yeah. So by the way, she's our equity research analyst. So her job is actually to do research. Yeah, but she has been like tasked, encouraged, forced to do presentation, right? Yeah, so she has no choice but to do this. So I'm going to shift the camera back to her so that I can maybe eat one pao or whatever. Yeah, so welcome Hillary. Yay.
Hi, good evening everyone. My name is Hillary, the one who is being forced by Cayden to do this NFT. So when Cayden first told me that, you better start to do NFT, I was like, what NFT? No free time? Okay, so to be long story short, both me and Cayden, we are not investing in cryptocurrency and also definitely not in NFT, but because this is currently a recently very hot topic, so we decided to like find out what really NFT is about. Like there's a lot of people earning millions of dollars. It's like, how does it actually happen? So that's why we embark on this journey to find out more what is NFT. So you see that this news, this artist, he managed to earn 738,000 in 32 minutes just selling NFT, which is this image. So it's shocking, right? And then this is the Indonesian guy that Cayden said earlier that he sells his own NFT selfies and he earned $1 million. So he did this, he take a photo of himself for every day for 5 years and he changed it all into NFT and sell it online. Yeah. And then this is another big news. This art, Beeper, is like 5,000 days, I think. And it was being sold at the highest price of 69 million. So that's why I grabbed the headline news. And this one, I believe most of the people must have saw this art picture, a very bored-looking ape. But it managed to catch a sale of 3.4 million USD. So for me, 3.4 million, I would rather spend it to buy a condo in Singapore. So what is BAYC? BAYC is called Bored Ape Yacht Club. So later on, we will find out more that how did this ape, this bored-looking ape, is able to snag $3.4 million? Yeah. Okay, so this is one of the artists that bought the bored ape. So this artist is a US artist, Eminem, and he bought a bored ape that looks just like him. The picture is a bit small, so let me zoom in and let you see. So does it look like him? Wearing a cap with a golden necklace. Yeah. So he spent about 450K just to buy this ape. And this is another sports athlete, Steve Curry, from the Golden State Warriors NBA. And he also bought another ape that looks just like this, like a haven't wake up yet ape. Yeah. Okay. So after all this, what really is NFT? Yeah, I know NFT, it's non-fungible token, but what really it is about? So NFT is a non-fungible token. It exists on Ethereum network and it is created by ERC 721 standard. Okay, so you heard me say something, but I don't understand a single thing what you're saying about. What really is NFT? Okay, so first off, let us differentiate the difference between a crypto token and a crypto coin. So NFT is a token. So a token, it represents a virtual and non-cash asset. In short, it's kind of a digital asset. And crypto coin, it represents a currency and has a cash equivalent, like a Bitcoin. So token is like a digital asset. Coin is something like Bitcoin. Okay. So now we will see that what type of digital assets are represented as NFT. Artworks, music, videos, in-game items. These are the common things that NFT that was being created using NFT. But in the future, NFT can also be used as tickets and also maybe legal documents. Wow, it sounds interesting, right? I thought NFT is all about arts, but why can it be done with legal documents? Isn't that scary? Yeah, even though when we photocopy, we also need to show our original copy to stamp as this copy certifies as true copies, right? But how can NFT can be used as legal documents? So later on, we will explain some of the features of NFT, then you'll find out why it's possible to use NFT as a legal document. So first off, how does NFT started? So NFT started in 2014 by Kevin McCoy and Anil Dash to use it as a monetized graphic. That means they try to link a graphic so that they can try to monetize it on a blockchain. And then in 2015, the first NFT project, Ethereum, was developed on Ethereum blockchain. So Ethereum is something like hexagonal tile. You see in the picture, it's a hexagonal tile. And when it was first created, no one wanted it. But when NFT starts to heat up and people get notice about it, it's just sold out. And in 2017, NFT was evolved and created from this ERC 721 standard. So you'll be thinking like, what is this standard about? Later we will explain. So then NFT starts to increase the popularity was because of these CryptoKitties. So how does this CryptoKitty actually works is that when the gamers are playing games, there's some in-game items that they can buy and trade. So when they buy and trade, they start to earn money, and that's when NFT is starting to get the notice from the public. And then the popularity slowly increases from 2017 until 2020. The value grew up to 250 million. And just the first 3 months of 2021, about 200 plus million was spent on NFT. So you can see how crazy NFT has become. Okay, so now before we jump into what NFT really is, we also look at the common terms, because when I was doing the research on NFT terms, on NFT, I nearly fainted. Because a lot of terms like on-chain metadata, smart contracts, gas fee, oh my God, what are those? So I have to find out what are the terms that NFTs are commonly used. When we understand them, only then we can understand how it actually works. So first off, like Cayden says, the fungus, but it's not fungus, it's fungible and non-fungible. Yeah. So fungible means that the tokens, they look the same. So you can see the picture, everything looks the same. And non-fungible, the token, they does not look the same. So fungible tokens means that they have identical metadata information. So this word metadata, we will also explain later. So bear in mind, or maybe you can write down somewhere so that when I explain, you'll be able to understand what is metadata. Then, because they look the same, they are equal in value. So they can exchange among themselves. So it can be used for commercial transactions like a Bitcoin. Then for non-fungible tokens, because they are different, so they have their own unique identification metadata. And they definitely does not have equal in value, so they are not exchangeable. So they usually exist as some kind of collectibles. So in short, fungible means identical and exchangeable. Non-fungible means different and non-exchangeable. Okay, so far so good? Okay, the next one is the ERC standards. So a standard in blockchain means that it's some kind of a coding template used by the Ethereum developers to build the tokens. So coding template is something like Python, C++, or Java, that kind of script. So when they're trying to build the tokens, they will try to use the code to write down those lines. So for Ethereum blockchain, they have 3 types of commonly used ERC standards. So ERC stands for Ethereum Request for Comments. And ERC20 is the one that used to create the fungible tokens, which are Bitcoin. So we will not explore about this. And ERC721s are non-fungible, and ERC1155 are for semi-fungible. So both of these ERC standards are used to create NFTs, but they have slightly different. And ERC1155 is an improved version of 721. But because right now the news that's hot about NFT are mostly generated by ERC721, we will not explore about 1155. So we will mainly explore about 721. So 721 is actually a proposer identifier number, meaning it's the person who proposed this standard. So for 721, it was proposed by this person, Dieter Shirley. Okay, so for ERC 721, it means that for every token, it ties to one smart contract. So that means 1:1. But when you try to read up 1155, things will become complicated, but it will not be explained in this YouTube live. If you are interested, you can read up more online by typing ERC 1155 and see the difference between 721. Okay, so right now you'll be thinking, what is smart contract? No worry, here is smart contract. So smart contract, usually like when we want to do a business or maybe a transaction with someone, we want to do with someone that we trust, we believe. But if let's say the other person is someone new or someone we don't know, we tend to want to write a contract with them, like any written document that is black and white, so that we can hold each other accountable to say that, okay, this is what you say, and then we will follow through what this contract says. So smart contract is something like that. So it involves a buyer and a seller, and then here's the smart contract. So the good thing about the smart contract is that there's no third party, there's no middleman. So that means it's directly peer-to-peer, like what Cayden said earlier about decentralized. That means directly between a buyer and a seller. And they use this smart contract to execute this transaction. So how does smart contract actually really works? I understand the concept, but how does it work? Okay, so first off, the two users, they come to agreement to do a transaction. They will create a smart contract, and they will write it in terms of the code, which is the ERC721 that I explained earlier, inside the code. And this smart contract is contained in the blockchain. So earlier on when Cayden was explaining about the blockchain, inside the data, this smart contract is contained inside the data, inside the blockchain. So when all the prerequisites or the criteria are being met, then this smart contract will execute itself so that the buyer and the seller can do the transaction. So that is how the smart contract works. So what is actually written inside the contract? I know it's a code, but what is it written inside? So inside this smart contract, there are two main things. One is the link to the NFT or the link to the metadata, and the other one is the metadata. Okay, now I know smart contract, so what is metadata? Okay, metadata, you can see this cute little author and also some kind of wordings. The cute little author is like a data, and the wordings are the metadata. So the metadata, in short, is the description info that is linked to the data. That means it's linked to that it says that, says something about the data, which is this author. And if we use an analogy, a simpler analogy like a book, if we want to find a book in a huge library, it's impossible, right? Like I want to find a book about meditation. In a library like 3 stories high, how long do I need to use to find this book? So the metadata acts as a function for us to ease to find this book. Like there's a title, there's the author name, there's the publisher details, table of content, and also indexed. So these are the metadata of the book. So it is our process to find this book. And inside the content of the book is the data. Yeah. So in terms of NFT, the metadata is describing what NFT is about, and the data is the NFT. Okay, so you can see that metadata for the NFT, they have built-in signatures so that it can prove who owns this NFT, and also a kind of a method of authentication. And it has a digital asset properties and also transactional history. So these are the metadata that describes what this NFT is about. And later on, I will share about why NFT becomes a very hot topic, and also why people are crazy about that. Okay, so now there's also some other terms it's good to know, because when they say on-chain, off-chain, it's like, what is on-chain, off-chain? Yeah. Okay, so first off, on-chain, it means that the digital asset is stored on the blockchain. For this example, I would say it's the smart contract. So you can see these are some of the things that are stored on the blockchain, like the smart contracts, the transaction validation, and also the hash that you learned earlier, and also some other things like access control, verification, tamper-proof log of events. All of these are stored inside the block of the blockchain. And then off-chain means that the digital asset is actually stored in an off-chain data storage, like a centralized server. That means it exists in the real world. So this one, yeah, it's not on the block itself. So sometimes the metadata could exist on the blockchain, or it could exist off-chain. So now you know what is on-chain and off-chain. So next time when they say that, oh, something is stored on-chain metadata, then you know, okay, this thing most likely is on the blockchain. But if they say that, oh, this is an off-chain metadata, then you know, okay, this metadata is not on the blockchain. Okay, so next is the gas fee. Because if you are trying to create an NFT or maybe do a transaction or trading NFT, you'll be seeing this term as gas fee. So gas fee is not the gas that sometimes like paise that comes out from us. That's not the gas fee. Gas fee is actually a processing fee when you try to mint. Mint, that means you try to create a smart contract. You put the smart contract inside the blockchain. Yeah, that's what it means, the processing fee. Because earlier on when Cayden was sharing the video, we can see that in order for them to like verify the transactions, they use a lot of energies, right? So this gas fee is something like a processing fee when you try to create the to validate the transactions. Yeah. So okay. Earlier we explained about smart contract. So 1 unit of gas fee is called gwei. Yeah. I searched online. They say gwei. So 1 gwei is actually 1 nano Ethereum. So there's like 8 zeros. There's a lot of zeros. So how does it actually works is that if you want the minting process to execute faster, because if you execute faster, you will be able to like create the blockchain immediately, then the next one, so that it will be verified faster, you have to pay a slightly higher fee compared to 15 minutes that you have to wait for it to validate. And if you want it to validate within 24 seconds, you have to pay $22 compared to $15. So this is what gas fee is about. Okay, so I think that's are the common terms about NFT. And now we will see like NFT that we all know about artworks, right? So someone will ask like, so what's the difference between JPEG and NFT? Maybe we can play a simple game, and maybe you can let me know like which one is JPEG or which one is NFT. So let's guess, is this an NFT? Yes or no? You can type in the chat box and say, yes, this is an NFT. Okay, so now we see another one. Or this one is an NFT. Okay, so is it the first one is an NFT or the second one is an NFT? So which one is an NFT? Okay. And now there's another one. Which one is JPEG? I guess most of the people are like, I don't know. One? No? Okay, so now we will have look at a quick summary like what is a JPEG and what is a NFT. So for a JPEG, we definitely know that if we see a certain picture that we like, we will just copy and paste and keep it for our own use. So a JPEG, it does not have a metadata, but the original creator of this JPEG actually owns the copyright. Yeah, and if this JPEG is being registered with the local authority, it can be enforced under the law. And for NFT, first thing is that it is non-fungible. That means it's unique, it's one of its kind. And the original digital copy cannot be easily duplicated. What does it mean? That means that, let's take Bored Ape for example. If let's say, just now earlier on the Bored Ape, we know that Eminem owns the Bored Ape with the cap, right? If another person uses that Bored Ape, they will know that, okay, either this person purchased this Bored Ape from Eminem, or he just copied from Eminem, which is a counterfeit. It's not the original one. Yeah, so this is why NFT is a hot topic nowadays, is because of this function. And also the NFT contains the metadata, which shows up the ownership details and also the transaction history. But the ownership of an NFT is not the same as owning the copyright. What does this mean? Later on, we will explain further, like what does it mean as an ownership and what does it mean as a copyright. Okay, so right now, most of us are interested to know like how does NFT work and how we can actually make money from it. So first off is that the creator, the NFT creator first creates the NFT, like the Indonesian guy, he takes a picture of himself and then create an NFT. Then he will sell it on the marketplace. So these are the marketplace for NFT. So if you're interested, you can type on Google says the NFT marketplace, and then they will show up a whole list of it. So the common ones are like OpenSea, Nifty Gateway, Rarible. These are the marketplace where you can create NFT and also sell the NFT. There's a lot more than this. These are just some of the examples. So this is the first way that you can earn money from NFT. Cha-ching! And if you are using this platform, you actually have to pay the gas fee, whether you create it or you are doing transactions of NFT. Okay. Then, when you are putting your artwork on this marketplace for sale, there will be a buyer who sees this and they say that, oh, this looks good, I want this, I want to buy this. So, the creator and also the buyer, they will create a smart contract in order to execute the sale. So right now, the buyer becomes the new owner of the NFT. Okay. Then after some time, the buyer feels like, I don't like this NFT anymore. I want to sell it. So they will go back to the marketplace and then sell the NFT or maybe trade the NFT. So that's another way you can earn money from NFT. But when you're using the platform, you will still have to pay the gas fee. Okay. And another interesting thing about NFT is that the original creator who creates this artwork, this NFT, after they sell for the first time, they can actually earn royalty whenever the NFT is being sold in the future, which is very different from the conventional way where when the artists create an art and after they sell it for the first time, that's the only time they will earn the money. Subsequent sale of the artwork, they will no longer receive any royalty. But for NFT-wise, the creator will still continue to earn a percentage of royalty for the future sales. Okay. So when I was doing my research, they also mentioned that you can also do an NFT staking. What is NFT staking? NFT staking sounds like you put a stick and then stick there and then say, okay, this is my land. Does that sound like it? So when I do my research about NFC staking is actually referring that you own that piece of NFT and then you give it, or maybe more like you lend it to some platform. So these are the platforms that allows you to stake your NFT. That means they keep a collection of the NFTs, and in the meantime, they will give you some rewards, some benefits when you lend your NFT for them for keepsaking purpose. And this is how another way to earn the NFT. Okay, so if you're interested, maybe you can also take a screenshot of this. Okay, so then I'll move on. Okay, so earlier on I mentioned about why does one of the Bored Ape manage to sell for about $3.4 million. So right now we will have a quick case study, a simple case study to find out like why Bored Ape is so popular nowadays, and also so many celebrities want to buy it. Okay, so why aping into BAYC? First thing is that they itself is an exclusive club. So how does BAAC actually exist? Is that they are being created by 4 founders, and then they create only 10,000 of the apes. That means 10,000 apes. So that means it's unlimited, and with its NFT non-fungible properties, it means that every ape itself is unique. So only one person can own one ape. So that means it's about 10,000 of members within that club. So when you're inside this club, you're actually able to join some offline meetings or maybe some events where there's celebrities. So it's kind of like a billionaire cup, something like that. And then another thing is that they have this feature called bathroom. It's a community graffiti wall where everyone, like every of the member, they will be allocated 15 minutes to draw 1 pixel. So everyone can draw a bit, draw a bit, draw a bit for every 15 minutes to commonly create a graffiti wall. And then another thing, there's this thing called NFT airdrop. So when I first saw this airdrop, it's like, what airdrop? Something dropped from the air? Yes, it is something dropped from the air. So when you are a Bored Ape member, you are actually have this feature that sometimes they will give you some free gifts. So you can see that on the ape, you can see one normal looking ape and then another mutant type looking ape, so gruesome. It's because during the airdrop period, they will give out a serum. So with that serum, when you inject it into the ape, it will turn into something different. And if it's even rare, then you can sell it at a higher price. Yeah. And then another thing is you can see these cute dogs, right? These are actually only for the owners of the ape that can get it first. So that means if you own one ape, they will give this dog for you for free. But after you have redeemed for this dog, then that's it. So that means one ape, one dog. So there will be about 10,000 dogs as well. So all of these perks are actually to create like exclusive membership so that they will keep their interest within this project. Yeah, to keep the project going on. Okay. So we'll find out more like what's so special about this ape. So for this ape, they have a total of 7 traits. You can see background, clothes, earring, ears, eyes, fur, head, and mouth. And all of these 7 traits, they are actually randomly generated by a programmable graphic. So that they will just random assign a graphic, and then this is your ape. And once you have the ape, it will depend on how rare will these traits appear. What does it mean? Okay, so for example, for this ape, 8135, you can see all these 7 stats, but for this bald unshaven dagger, or in short, bald dagger, among 10,000 apes, only 49 apes have this feature. So it means that other apes don't have, only these 49 apes have. So it mentioned that it is very rare. So you can see the plus 357, it increases until like 668 rarity score. And that's why it becomes rank 1. And maybe in the future, maybe there's other traits suddenly become very rare, like because there's serum, so your monkey will become a mutant, and there's other different traits appear, then your monkey may be even shot up to the ranking of the rarity. No one knows. Yeah. So this is the reason why this ape managed to snag $3.4 million, is because one of the traits of it is a solid gold fur. So out of 10,000 apes, can you guess how many apes have this solid gold fur trait? 46, right? It's 46. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Pokemon cards in soft copy. Okay, so now we'll look. I believe that after explaining simply about NFT, because today is just about basics 101. If I go in depth, I think few days I cannot finish this research, because that's really a lot. They will talk in depth about how the technology actually works. But for us, we are interested to know how the mechanic actually works. Only then we will be able to further do research on our own. If we don't understand the terms, it's very hard for us to understand what they are talking about. So I believe that earlier on you might have benefit a bit. Okay, so first off is rug pull. So earlier on, Cayden said about the squid coin. So rug pull actually is something like this. Yeah, you stand on the rug and then someone pull it off, so you fall down. Okay, so this is the example of a rug pull. So like Cayden said earlier, whenever there was a new project, the project developers will try to create interest, because when we see the Bored Ape is already being established, and you can see that there's a lot of perks in it, and you also can get freebies from the airdrops. So whenever people try to link up to Bored Ape, they will say that, oh, this is something like Bored Ape. So they will say that, okay, I want to be the first one get into this project so that I will get something out like Bored Ape. And then the investors will be interested, so they'll be investing money. So you can see the chart is going up, going up, going up. But when there's enough money, then the developers will abandon the project, and then they will cash out. And you can see the money all gone. So this is rug pull. And then the second risk to take note of is off-chain NFT. So earlier on, when we explained about on-chain, off-chain, we were kind of like, what is on-chain, off-chain? But now you know what is off-chain, it's easier to explain about this risk. So now we come back to this diagram. So we can see that smart contract is stored on-chain, on the blockchain. But the metadata, the NFT or the artworks are stored in off-chain if it's an off-chain NFT. So in the event that if you wanted to purchase an NFT, you have to check whether is this NFT an on-chain or an off-chain NFT. If it's an off-chain NFT, it will be stored in an off-chain data storage. So the smart contract contains the link to this NFT, so that whenever you open up this smart contract, then it will link you to the off-chain NFT inside the off-chain data storage. But in the event that because it's a server, and sometimes server will went down. So if the server is went down, the metadata will lost. And because it's a non-fungible, it's only one of its kind, it's unique, then there is no backup. And when there is no more metadata, the link no longer works. It becomes a broken link. So you have the smart contract, but the link points you to nowhere. And also the smart contract cannot be rewritten. It's because of this non-fungible. If you rewrite it, then it does not belong to the NFT. I hope I don't lose anyone here, because when I first do this, it's like, I don't understand what this happens. But after reading a few more articles, then it's like, okay, I roughly know what is happening. So in short, for an off-chain NFT, it does not contain together with the smart contract. And the smart contract only contains the link to link it to the NFT on another site. If anything happens to the off-site, then the smart contract contains a broken link where it points to nowhere. So this is one of the risks for an off-chain NFT. Okay. So the next one is environmental concern. So earlier on when Cayden was showing that video about Iceland where they are using a lot of computer power, that's a lot of energy, right? There's a lot of electricity that has to be used. So here they say that the sale of a piece of a crypto art actually used a lot of energy, as much as the studio uses in 2 years. So you can see just one art, then 2 years of electricity gone. So people are actually protesting about it. First thing is because high energy consumption due to the proof of work. In order to validate the transactions, they need to solve a lot of complex puzzle. Once the puzzle able to be solved, then the block will be added on to each other. So you can imagine how many blocks they need to add on and how many energy they need to be used in order to validate the transaction. So, and we know that nowadays, most of our energy comes from fossil fuel. Even though there's clean energy, but still a huge bulk of it is still coming from fossil fuel, like gas, like gas. And also fossil fuel generates CO2, and CO2 will lead to global warming. Yeah, so that's why people are saying that NFT will cause some environmental issues. Okay, next one is the tax on NFT transactions or trading. So just recently, March 11, just this year, our finance minister actually says that there will be income tax applied to NFT whenever there's a trading or transactions. Yeah, so when you do NFT transactions or tradings, you have to pay income tax. So this is something also to take note of. And then the last one is this copyright and ownership. Oh, this one, you have to bear with me. It will be a bit wordy or maybe a bit dry, but it's a play of words. So once you understand this, then you will know what you are getting yourself into. Okay. So from this article by Dan Mayer, the IP group, they mentioned that NFT is actually just a representation of the underlying work. That means it's just a representation of the artwork. It does not provide the buyer the copyright. So, okay, I own it, but I don't have the copyright. What is a copyright? Okay, so now we check with US Copyright Office. A copyright means that it is a form of intellectual property, IP, that protects the original works of authorship. That means it protects the creator whenever they finish their work, like let's say artworks, music, any form of creation, or even writing, painting. As long as the creator finish creating this creation, the copyright belongs to them. And in an article by TechCrunch, they also mentioned that unless there's an external agreement is being made, the copyrights of an NFT still belongs to the original artist. And the NFT purchaser actually owns just the hash. That means this hash is actually referring to the smart contract. So they just own the smart contract linked to the NFT. They only own just that, not the copyrights. So we summarize again. A copyright means that it belongs to the creator when the work is created, and it is protected under law. So the creator can actually do whatever they want with the creation. They can mass produce it, they can sell it, they can redistribute it. They can do that because that is their creation, that is their intellectual property. But for ownership, the NFT is actually just a digital certificate to show the proof of purchase, because it has the transaction history and it can show who owns this NFT and who purchased this NFT. But it does not have the copyright ownership. So it also has limited rights. So maybe we can see an example by Mike Shinoda about the NFT terms. So Mike Shinoda is actually the lead vocalist of Linkin Park. He's also selling some NFT, and he put up an NFT terms. So he mentioned that this NFT is only for personal, non-commercial use, but you can resell it. Because let's say if you don't like this, if you don't like this NFT, you want to sell to someone, you are able to do that, but you have no right to license and reproduce or distribute, and also some other things. And all copyright and other rights are reserved and not granted. So this is what it means, a copyright and an ownership. So I hope that this will able to clarify the difference between a copyright and an ownership. So of course, we are standing on a neutral position. We are not here to badmouth about NFT or even promote NFT. We are standing on a neutral position, like to risk, like what are the risks and rewards should I get involved in NFT? So first thing about the benefits, and also we will see about the potential future usage. So first thing is that it simplifies the transactions because of the smart contract. It's directly peer-to-peer between the buyer and the seller, so it does not involve with a third party. So the first example is like concert tickets. For example, like an artist or musician, they wanted to organize a concert, they can directly sell the tickets to their fans without a third party. And also, by using an NFT technology, they can also prevent the e-ticket fraud. Like let's say, nowadays we wanted to save people, right? So maybe we want to generate some e-tickets, but because the e-tickets, people might just say, okay, I copy it, then I can bring my friend along. No need to buy 2 tickets. But with NFT, because there's the ownership details, there's also the transaction history, it can prevent this e-ticket fraud. And then the next thing is about the proof of ownership of the digital asset, the metadata. Like for example, music or maybe artworks. Like for example, when you purchase a music, they will know that, okay, you own this music. And then another thing is that it enables a digital representation of the physical asset, the licenses, real estate transactions, and voting ballots. Yeah, it's because of the metadata feature. Okay, so to conclude this whole NFT, first thing, the pros is that it's non-fungible. That means it's one of its kind if it's made of ERC721 and it's unique. There's a proof of authenticity is because of this metadata. It's a kind of a digital evidence, and the ownership is traceable. But the cons that need to consider is rug pull. When the server is down, you might lose access to the off-chain NFT. And unless they change another way to verify, to validate the transactions, blockchain technology is actually quite bad for environment. And also, there's taxation on NFT transactions in Singapore for the moment. And unregistered NFT trademark are actually not protected by law. So people can take it, but how are they going to go after them? Yeah. So these are some of the things have to consider the risk and reward should you embark on the journey on NFT. So with that, I'll end my presentation, and I hope that you have learned a lot. I hope that you're not lost in the NFT world, but get a better understanding like what NFT is about. So should you embark on this journey, you'll be able to do it in a much faster pace. So with that, I'll hand it back to Cayden. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, there is one question by Desmond. I'm not very sure whether Hillary can reply that via text, right? So Desmond asks, when someone like the industry guy who makes money with his NFT, can he lose it? I'm not very sure what you mean by lose it, right? You can type, you can type, right? Yeah. So remember, right? The ownership is tagged to like a web address, right? Like a web address. So in other words, if the server is down, right? If the server is down, then you will lose the NFT, lor. Yeah. So in other words, like imagine you paid 1 million, right? Yeah. Okay, I'll let the guys sort out the technical thing, how to type and so on. But let me just come back to here. Let's come back here, right? Now, in fact, when Hillary was doing this, I was have some discussion with her. Right, about this trademark, copyright, and all those things. Now, let me share with you. Oh, so for example, there's this Gina, right? Gina Guru. The NFT is tagged to the artist. Some people will know the creator and prevents copying of a particular NFT. Now, the interesting thing is this NFT so-called ownership, all this, remember, it only exists in the virtual world, in the decentralized world. So let me give you an example, right? Remember the Bored Ape? Now, remember, this is just a discussion about Ape, right? So I was telling Hillary, I said anytime when somebody launch NFT, right? NFT, the so-called popular, sexy, or whatever. So what I will do, right, is I will go to Singapore's Intellectual Property Office of Singapore and check has anyone trademarked this. Trademark this. So what I can do, right, is I can take this picture, and if I'm an artist, I go and modify, mutate, bend the face or whatever, right? Then what I can do is I can register this picture as my trademark, or I can register a few variations of this as my trademark. Yeah. Then of course, whether my registration of trademark, is subject to IPOS approval. And let's say if it's approved. Now, and if it's approved, that means in the real world, which is this real world, right? I own the trademark. And because I own the trademark, I can take that trademark, right, print it on my T-shirt, and I can sell 1,000 copies. 1,000 copies. And then, of course, some people who own the original variant of this in the decentralized world, they can argue, but I own this and so on. But in the real world, I own the trademark. So what do you want to do? You want to hire a lawyer and sue me, but remember, right, the ownership of the NFT belongs to the creator. So you own this link, right, to an NFT. So I'm not a lawyer, but I just find some of these things, even to a layman like me or Hillary, sometimes it gets a bit confusing, So be very careful when you say you spend 1 million, you sell a condo, right, and you buy a JPEG file in the name of NFT, and then you say, oh, you own an NFT. Yeah, so be very careful, Now, I'm not a Pokemon person, but if you look at my slides over here, right, if you can see, right, so these are pictures of Pokemon. So of course, for Pokemon, right, it exists in the, how should I say, it exists in the real world. So you have a physical copy and so on. Then you got some rare one, gold card, diamond card, and so on. So the interesting thing is, you imagine this one exists in the digital form, in the separate world. And then right now you own this. And then there's one thing I find really very hard to believe. As Hillary was saying, like for example, this animal, right? Oh, this animal got some rare characteristic. For example, imagine I take 5 years of selfie of myself, right? And out of the 10,000 faces, there's only one face where I pick my nose. Yeah, so when I pick my nose, that's really rare, no? And because that's really rare, my rarity score, right, or this NFT that pick my nose, suddenly becomes very high. Yeah, so after I hear the presentation from Hillary, after the discussion, I think I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. Now that doesn't mean it's bad, right? I think I'm really too old for this. But I think you'll be good if let's say for fun's sake, right? For fun's sake, that means I own, how should I say, I own one NFT. Then it can become a talking point, right, on Facebook, or when I meet up with my friend and then ask me, hey, Cayden, what are you up to? I say, nothing. I just create my own 10,000 variation on my NFT, right? And there's one rare one, which is the big nose one. Yeah, and then I hope that one day I can sell all this picture for 1 million. Yeah, something like that. You see the Tuantek, share in another form. Yeah, it's like you buy a CD, right? Yeah, you own the CD, but you cannot reproduce for commercial use. You see, good to have a community to discuss, right? Yeah. So we have already. I just want to make sure that the slide is shared, right? Yeah, slide, right? Yeah. So we're coming to the end of our so-called class or webinar where we talk about cryptocurrency and NFTs. I remember right in the beginning of the session, I've shared that myself and Hillary, we are not gurus. We are not experts in cryptocurrency or NFTs, but because we are so curious about all this topic, so we decided to spend days trying to figure out. Yeah. So right now I see some people trying to promote an NFT, right, in our. Wow, you see the sellers, right, always know better than the buyers. You see, like this guy Mace Cassil, I don't know where is he from. Next meme coin, the crypto space, baby wolf, the hashtag. Very good, It's okay, right? It's okay. You all use this as a platform to promote NFT, very, very good, Okay, so like I say, me and Hillary, we are not a gurus in cryptocurrency, NFTs. Yeah, that definitely we are not, and we do not own any of the cryptocurrency NFT yet lah. Yeah, maybe in future we just buy one for fun, right? Like say Cayden, don't pick nose or whatever. Right? Yeah, but I think it's always good for us to know something, even though we may not, how should I say, possess it. Like for example, you know there's this fruit called durian. You don't like, but at least you know. You've seen it before, you've smelled it before, you know there exists such a thing. Yeah. So moving forward, if you find that maybe crypto NFT is for you, you can always go and Google, you know, do some YouTube and research. And then please feel free to share this link, right, to your friends, so at least it serves as like a centralized video, right, where you can share with your friends. And outside the world, outside this decentralized virtual world of NFTs and cryptocurrency, if you prefer the old traditional ownership where it's being secured, governed, centralized, on the 23rd and the 31st of March, we have an on-site masterclass where we talk about how you can really own a piece of the business in the real world. And what is required of you is only $8 of to buy a ticket, right, where every single cent goes to National Cancer Center of Singapore. And then upon registration at the reception, you receive 2 hard copies where it shows you exactly, right, step by step how you can invest in the Straits Times Index exchange traded funds or the S&P 500 ETF. And of course, at the end of the class, right, you receive a physical hard copy. Maybe I should do this count as an NFT. I just noticed, right? Or maybe I should do this count as an NFT. Actually, I should do this because I own the copyright of this, right? Then I can create different variation of the cow's face. Or different variation. I do 10,000. Maybe I should do this. Now I think about it. Yeah, because one book $33. If I do this as NFT, maybe I can make $1 million out of this. Yeah, so I will talk to Irfan and Susie. Then 3 of us will split the profit. Yeah, one person 333,000. Yeah, correct. Yeah, the cow. For like 10 years, I didn't know this cow exists. So now we can do it. Yeah. Then we're going to give you a Starbucks gift card So this is not an NFT, right? This is really a hard card where you go to a Starbucks, you can go and get yourself 2 cups of drinks, and then of course at the end you also receive another book. So in short, $8 to charity, you receive 2 hard copy books, and maybe the cover eventually one day will become NFT, plus a $10 prepaid Starbucks gift card where you can get yourself maybe 1 drink and a slice of cake. And your guaranteed ROI, right, a 688%, and of course no money can ever buy intangible knowledge. So during this masterclass, either one that you pick, you will learn how to generate 3 sources of passive income, even if you know absolutely nothing about investing, how to invest in minimal capital, how to invest with minimal time. And most of our graduates would know, right, you will learn how to generate cash flow on a weekly or monthly basis to replace your existing salary. And here we are talking about legitimate formula called value investing, right, that has been proven across 102 years. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll come to a session. This is my last second slide, right? What we're going to do is, I think myself and Hillary, we really enjoy doing research on some new fascinating things. And then we want to do YouTube Live to share with all of you. Yeah, and I think about a couple of weeks ago, we discovered something, right? Now, you look at this article, it's still pretty new, right? It's about a month ago, 17th of February, 2022. And it says something like, even after Berkshire Hathaway sank 1 billion, not 1 million, right, into a crypto-friendly bank, Vice Chairman Charlie Munger called coins Bitcoin a venereal disease. Wow. You know, the interesting thing is Charlie Munger always anti-crypto, right? Anti-crypto. And then Charlie Munger is the vice president of this company called Berkshire Hathaway, where Warren Buffett is the president. So you see the irony or the contradicting thing is if both of them are so-called anti-crypto, anti-NFT, right? So why did their company, which is called Berkshire Hathaway, use 1 billion to buy a crypto-friendly bank? And this bank is called New Bank. So it appears like they're slapping their own face, they're contradicting themselves, right? Now, if you want to know why they make such a decision, are they contradicting themselves? What is this crypto-friendly bank that they're buying? And you'll be thinking, oh, if they buy, maybe should I buy? Should I join them? Yeah, so what's going to happen is, I think it should be about 1-2 weeks later, we're going to do another YouTube Live, right? And this time round, we're going to ride on this crypto, we're going to ride on NFT, but this time around, we're going to talk about this bank called New Bank, where actually Berkshire Hathaway has invested. Oh, this is interesting, huh? Oh, it gets more interesting. I hate Bitcoin, but let me buy a bank that owns Bitcoin. It's so contradicting. Okay, so yeah. Wow, I saw a lot of Wembley. Wow, you see, very nice. Through this YouTube live, they also take the chance. Yeah, I think it's okay, entrepreneur, right? They take the chance to promote the NFT to the 139 audience. Very good, huh? I don't know where you're from, but we are here in Singapore. Okay, good. So I just say hello to you, right? Now, so remember, we are VIA, which stands for Value Investing Academy. If you have any other topics that you find very hot, very sexy, anything you want to know, please feel free to type inside the chat box, right? And then, we'll just see which one is very interesting. We do some research on it, and then we'll share with you. Yeah. And the reason why we love to do such things are because we care to make every one of you a better investor. Okay, so 139 of you, I shall see you soon, right? And for the Wembley who have posted on the chat that you're launching your NFT, let me wish you all the best. I hope that your baby wolf NFT will make billions out of it. And remember, if you make a lot of money out of it, do remember to come back to our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/Value Investing Academy, and then subscribe to us. So that you remember when you make 1 million, actually you did visit our YouTube channel. Okay, so I wish you all the best, and of course all the viewers, and I shall see all of you soon. And of course, thanks to the team over here. Okay, see you all of you. Okay, goodbye. See you soon.